I am very happy to be back here at historic Juniper Hall once again for the announcement of the winner of the 2018 Doug Moran National Portrait Prize. And first of all, I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we meet, the Eora people of the Gadigal Nation, and pay my respects to elders past and present. Now, it's also part of my job each year to gently remind everyone that the family name in this prize is pronounced Moran. So these are the Moran prizes, not the Moran prizes. As always, of course, it is a great pleasure to be involved with such an important event in the annual arts calendar in Australia. And as I mentioned, it's a pleasure to welcome you all to Juniper Hall this morning on behalf of the Moran Arts Foundation. Now, really importantly, this year marks the 30th anniversary of the Doug Moran National Portrait Prize, and this evening, when we officially open the 2018 Portrait Prize exhibition, we'll also be opening a very special exhibition with many of the finalists and indeed winners from previous years on display. And in fact, if any of you would like to explore after today's ceremony, there are a range of wonderful works in the other part of Juniper Hall back here, where you can see a tremendous range of past winners of the prize right back from its early years. Of course, it's also wonderful that we have all of our finalists gathered here together today. Now, the Moran family created the Doug Moran National Portrait Prize in 1988 for Australia's bicentenary, and then in 2007 the Moran Contemporary Photographic Prize was also introduced. And as you look back through the winners, particularly in those past works, you get a wonderful snapshot of Australian culture over the past 30 years, with portraits of many familiar faces from the worlds of sport, music, film, and of course art. A very healthy number of artists' self-portraits, of course, and sometimes some less familiar faces with very important cultural connections. And during its history, the Portrait Prize has become one of the most prestigious art awards in Australia, and of course it remains the richest art prize in the country. All 30 finalists receive $1,000, and our winner, who of course we'll reveal very shortly, receives $150,000. The 2018 Doug Moran National Portrait Prize has been judged by artist Louise Herman, who won the prize in 2014, and in fact you can see her winning portrait in that other room a little further down, her portrait of Bill Henson. And Dr. Ron Radford AM, the former director of the National Gallery of Australia, and Greta Moran, the director of the Moran Arts Foundation. So they've done a great job with the judging, and very shortly we will welcome Louise to the stage to announce our winner. But first of all, I would like to introduce to you Peter Moran, CEO of the Moran Arts Foundation and the Managing Director of the Moran Healthcare Group. Please welcome Peter.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Richard. I'd like to welcome you all here on behalf of the Moran Arts Foundation. It's particularly warming to see so many finalists here, and thank you all for the efforts to be here this morning. Thank you. As Richard mentioned, we're celebrating our 30th anniversary of the Doug Moran National Portrait Prize this year in 2018, and it's wonderful that so many of our previous winners and finalists will be joining us later in the day. I hope you have all had a moment to reflect on the past 30 years with our celebratory exhibition. I, for one, it's more than half of my lifetime, and for a lot of us, it's more than half our lifetime. It's a long time, and we're very proud of it. It's a it is a source of great pride to our family that the Portrait Prize continues to go from strength to strength, and it is mainly due to our artists and the arts world for this to be continuing. So I thank all the artists who are here today. Alongside the Portrait Prize, we of course have the Moran Contemporary Photographic Prize, which for the first time this year has been separated from the Portrait Prize. Entries for the Photographic Prize will open early in 2019. The other element of the Moran Arts Foundation, of course, is the children's photographic workshops. This is probably the most important part of our work, and it travels to different schools all over the countryside. We've educated probably about 35,000 school children during this time. I'd also, just one more thing before I finish up, I'd also like to make a special welcome to Dr. Daniel Thomas here today, and for his help this year as well. Thank you, Daniel. Thanks very much, everybody.
Thank you very much indeed, Peter, and it was great to hear about also the tremendous support that the Foundation gives not only to artists but also to young Australians in their pursuit of and understanding of photography. Now in 2014, as I mentioned a little earlier, Louise Herman won the Doug Moran National Portrait Prize with her portrait of Bill Henson, and the Moran Arts Foundation is delighted that this year Louise has joined us as one of our judges alongside Dr. Ron Radford AM and Greta Moran. This year the Doug Moran National Portrait Prize had over 1,050 entries. Now Louise, Ron and Greta narrowed this down to 129 semi-finalists and then to 30 finalists, and a very challenging and exacting task. And I would now like to welcome Louise Herman to the stage to tell us a little more about their deliberations, and then, of course, the moment we're all anticipating, Louise will announce the winner of the 2018 Doug Moran National Portrait Prize. Louise.
Thank you, Richard. And I have the golden envelope. Can you hear me? So my fellow judge, Ron Radford, and I agreed about a lot of paintings. We disagreed about some, but we did agree about the winner. And when we were trying to make an interesting exhibition as well, and I told Ron that I would blame Daniel if he didn't like any of the work that was included. There'll be a lot of entrants who are outraged by the fact that they didn't even make it to the finalists, and rightly so. But actually it was 1,300 entrants, and we had to carve 30 out of 1,300, which is, you know, that's a big cull. So don't be put off by not getting into the finalists this year or winning. Keep trying. Keep trying. I scooped the pools when I was 16 and won 3 prizes, and then I was runner-up for the next 30 years. So, you know, just keep banging your head against the kitchen door like a cockroach, and eventually you'll get through to the food. And we're hoping there's plenty of meat in this sandwich in this exhibition. So, on reading about the Moran family, Greta comes up as a very large character, as a very powerful and inventive partner to Doug. And at one point, Greta did have a passion to be an artist, but family responsibilities at the time made that not possible. So this prize makes making paintings as a primary job a possibility for the winners of this prize, which is a really fantastic gift the Morans have given to the art world, and it will enrich Australia's visual history. So we thank you so much for this, and it certainly made a huge difference to my life. A painting for me, when I think it's really good, is an object in space that not only makes me think, but it makes me want to keep looking at it. And the more I look at it, the more I think, and the more then it becomes a good painting in my mind. The winning painting in this year's show is exactly that, an object that we naturally wanted to keep looking at. Each time I look, I see fascinating things in this painting. She, has an obsessive eye for detail. She's also able to make the painting sing as a whole. It has emotion, a beauty, and a love of life's visual stories. It also has a sort of defiant, splat-in-your-face appeal. It just sits there as an object. So the winning painting, with that I'll announce, for this year's Moran Prize is a self-portrait by Lynn Savory.
Oh my gosh, I don't know what to say, but thank you very much to the Moran Foundation, to the judges, Louise and Greta. Thank you very much for providing. I'm really taken aback. To be honest, this is my first portrait painting, my first oil painting, and I never expected to even get into the semi-finals, let alone the finals, and win. So this is an extraordinary thing. I'd like to thank all the fellow artists. Their work is amazing, and to see it in the flesh, although I haven't got round to all of it yet, is such a treat. And I'm looking forward to seeing all the past winners. That's an extra treat, and that's the main thing I wanted to do coming up, was to have a look at the work in real life. So I don't know what else to say, but thank you ever so much.
Well, congratulations indeed to Lynn Savory. Thank you, Louise, for your fine words. And of course, congratulations to all of the finalists who are hanging on these walls here today with their works after, as Louise was explaining, such a challenging job of working through so many wonderful works. So on behalf of the Moran Arts Foundation, I'd like to thank all of you for coming along this morning. Of course, you're all very welcome to stay and have a look through the gallery at both the present exhibition and the exhibition looking back over 30 years. It opens to the public tomorrow morning and runs through until December the 16th. And any of our representatives from the media who would like to speak with finalists and of course with our winner today, please do have a word with one of the TM publicity team and they will be very helpful and able to assist you in that way. Now, the presentation, as was mentioned a little earlier, of the Moran Contemporary Photographic Prize will take place in early 2019, and we look forward to seeing you there as well. But thank you very much for joining us this morning, and once again, congratulations.